screen. We are going to be starting our course on stabilizing the subluxated lens and a medley of shared screens. I'm just going to transfer you onto it. Going to be our talk today, and
it's 11 o'clock.
And we have some of the topmost speakers for it. I will be your course instructor. The speakers will be Dr. Chitra Ramamurthy, Dr. Lahane, Dr. Amar Agarwal, Krishna Kudlu, Dr. Ragini, and Cyrus. As you can well imagine, we're going to have a very interesting show. I'm going to start off and wait until the other speakers come. Yes, Dr. Chitra Ramamurthy come. Is she here with us? No. So I'm going to start off immediately. Managing subluxated lenses the easy way. One of the big problems of subluxated lenses is that you have to stabilize the lens. You have to do a rhexis without tearing the weakened zonule. You have to remove the residual nucleus and aspirate the cortex. And finally, you have to stabilize the IOL and the bag. Without much ado, let me show you how it works. This is, as one would say, a course 101 on subluxated cataract. Gives you all the information which you require to get you started on your subluxated times. The title of this program is, one would say, our video is Some Days Are Not So Good. You know, and I get up in the morning, you're operating, everything is fine. But some days it just doesn't seem to work out as you want it. Now, as you can notice, okay, it's a hard cataract, nothing much to talk about. But we are going along, doing our rhexis after staining the capsule. All these cases always stain the capsule. Why? Because just in case, for any reason, you have a mishap, the edges of the capsule are visible. So you can then simply put your lens anterior to the capsule in case for any unforeseen circumstance which you may have on tearing the posterior capsule. You do your rhexis. I normally like to use a forceps for no other reason excepting that it gives me a better control. And once you have happened to do this, you do a very light hydrodissection. With this particular patient, we have a suspicion purely because the lens is a little unstable. Nothing is as yet visible, but we just want you to notice. Now notice in this area here, you will notice the subluxated zone. I have tried to gradually remove the lens by hydrodissecting and moving the nucleus of the lens out. So hopefully the lens should not worry. But this is the area I want you to keep looking at. We are doing a very low power and a very low aspiration and a suction. Vacuum is running extremely low because I just don't want any problems occurring. And everything seems to be working, but now you can notice the area of the break in the zonules is progressively increasing. So now we can see almost, as one would say, a quarter segment has now broken open. And this is the time the fun and games start. Now, how do you proceed at this point onwards? The simple answer is you first inflate and enlarge the bag. The easiest way to do that is to use a viscoelastic and blow the bag open. The biggest mistake is to try and do anything at that stage. The next step is push in a capsular tension ring. When you put in the ring, you put it at the base of the area where it is breaking open. So it was breaking open in this zone, so we put the ring at this point. And gradually we inject the ring until it finally slips into place. You know the ring has slipped into place and is proper because the area which you have shown of the zonular break has now been literally controlled. Same way, go on injecting viscoelastic to unroll the flap. The next step at this stage is stop playing. First put in your lens. Important step is to get your lens in. Once your lens goes in, you can play around and do everything. Otherwise, you're saddled with a broken bag and a lens hanging in your hand. So first put in your lens, turn your lens so that the haptics one of the haptics goes along the line of the subluxated area. So it supports the lens. As you notice, this is the area here. I've got cortical remnants left over. I'm now removing the cortex at a later stage. I'm using a vitrector for no other reason excepting I know that this zone is broken. And I know very well that a certain amount of vitreous will be there. This is the broken zone, but because you're putting the ring, it has supported the back. So you use your vitrector, clear it, and in the end, remember always to inject a bit of steroid to make sure that you've got no bands left over. So this is a very simple way of handling it. Now let me show you what happened. This is a method of what we call a suturing the IOL to the capsular bag. It's a case of Marfan's, which you've got a subluxated lens, a beautiful subluxated lens. You can't beat it. Similar manner, you proceed ahead, and at this stage, you need to do a rhexis. Nowadays, if you have got a femto, I also use a femto to do it, but you can do it also directly, no problems. You make a little nick, and then you just start off the flap a little. Usually, the best is to start the flap and then lock it into place. But if you can manage it comfortably, you can just do your rhexis with no difficulty. You don't have to do a very large rhexis for the simple reason that usually the subluxated lenses are very soft and you don't need a large amount. Now you put in your hooks and anchor on your capsule. I do not prefer to use capsular hooks which are larger and wider because they tend to slip out. I prefer to use the regular hooks. It seems to work well. Capsular hooks are fine, but they are large and they are very tedious to put in and tedious to manage. Now you do your emulsification using a slow-mo. That means basically slow aspiration, slow motion. Cut down your ultrasound energy to a minimum so that accidentally, even if you touch the bag, nothing will happen. Remove the cortical remnants in the end. And then you put in your ring again. This is the Groider injector. It's a fabulous little tool if you can manage to get it. Nothing equals it. Again, as I said earlier, you put your ring at the point of the break first and then gradually inject it. Having done that, now comes the interesting part. I want you to follow it exactly because it's very interesting. You take a suture, pass your suture down the injector line. So you got your suture hanging outside, which you now tie to your implant. So you got a suture in the injector and you got a tie of the lens here. Now, when you pull the suture out a little, as you notice, the lens will tend to go into the bag. So when you inject it, in the first outside will come the suture and then will come the bag. So this is your suture which you pull out again and inject at the same time. So you got your lens coming. Now we have to take this needle and you have to anchor this zone which is lying subluxated. So the needle goes through under the anterior capsule, through the base of the bag and out into the sclera. And at the same time, you inject the lens in simultaneously. So you first put the needle, then you inject the lens in. And then from outside, you simply pull the suture. Let your lens center inside. Now the loop of your lens, which you have put, is the one which is working there. You don't have to suture it here. You just require to put 3 or 4 passes. Put 3-4 passes of your needle. That is usually enough. And then you can disconnect your hooks and then gradually adjust by pulling on the needle. As you can notice, the bag is gradually going back into place. Subluxation is controlled. You got a lens inside. You didn't do any gymnastics. And then you pass the needle 2-3 times. No suturing required. Just pass the needle 2-3 times. It's more than enough. And then you just simply cut the edge of it all. If you want, you can tie it here, put one single tie and bury the tie. But even that is very often not required. And that is your post-operative picture, which you will get at the end. So it's a simple technique, easy to execute and gives good reproducible results.